wickets patrol the cover boundary. At last the time is come, this is a cricketing emergency. Hear this call to arms for every cricket revolutionary. Take up your bats and stumps for the test match insurgency. At first they tried to silence us, but we would not be silenced. They threatened us with lies, so we threatened them with violence. Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Darrell Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin, guerrilla cricket. It's not about the winning, it's about how many rules you break. Even in cricket commentary, this is the best advice to take. Pick guerrilla cricket, it's the finest choice you'll ever make. There's so much more to cricket than rev counters and a slice of cake. At first they tried to sanitize us and clean up our act, but people like it filthy, and we know that for a fact. Fidel Castro, Lenny Pascoe, Carlos the Jackal, Umar Akmal, Mahatma Gandhi, Grant and Andy, Brendan Behan, Austin Ian, guerrilla cricket. Stick with us, cause you know we're not the kind of thing that you see on the TV and the radio. So vive la revolution. First they tried to buy us, but we would not be bought. Okay, we were, but then we ran away, and we will not be caught. Would not give up the ghost when they left us all for dead. They decapitated us, but we just grew another head. Chairman Mao, Jamie Howe, Ho Chi Minh, Asif Din, Václav Havel, Graham Saville, No Surrender, Percy Fender, Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Darrell Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin, guerrilla cricket.
And then there were three. The Mumbai Indians have in effect been sitting beachside sipping margaritas for the last few weeks, while Delhi Capitals and the Sunrisers Hyderabad have kicked RCB out of the last chance saloon and now sit scrabbling for the death of the last pint. It is qualifier 2, one chance left to make the playoffs, to make the final rather, one team on the way down, one team on the way up. Will it be the blue worm or the orange that comes out on top today in Abu Dhabi? Hello and welcome to Guerrilla Cricket's coverage of Qualifier 2 of the IPL. The Delhi Capitals, who lost Qualifier 1 in thumping fashion to the Mumbai Indians, and the Sunrisers Hyderabad, who beat Royal Challengers Bangalore in the eliminator here in Abu Dhabi the other day, face off in the Sheikh Zayed Stadium. I am Nakul Pandey, your host. I'll be bringing in our co-conspirators and our first commentary team in just a second. But first, the toss and team news. The Delhi Capitals have won the toss and elected to bat. The Sunrisers Hyderabad said that they wanted to field anyway, so theoretically all is happy. Delhi Capitals make two changes. Shimron Hetmeyer is back into the middle order after a few games off. He is in for Prithvi Shaw, which is a little bit of a surprise. Not necessarily that Hetmeyer is in, but that Prithvi Shaw has been the one left out. So Ajinkya Rahane moves up to open. And Praveen Dubey, the leg spinner, who was the injury replacement for Amit Mishra, comes in for Daniel Sams, that Australian seamer. So it's a three-pronged pace attack. So they go in the Delhi Capitals with Shikhar Dhawan, Ajinkya Rahane, Shreyas Iyer, the captain, Marcus Stoinis, Rishabh Pant, the wicketkeeper, Shimron Hetmeyer, Akshar Patel, R. Ashwin, Kagiso Rabada, Praveen Dubey and Anrich Nokia. The Sunrisers Hyderabad, the big news is that Ridhaman Saha, who would have been back in this team had he been fit. His hamstring injury is worse than thought. In fact, he has torn his hamstring, so he will not be available, and possibly not available for India's tour of Australia, but that's a little way off yet. So Johnny Bairstow continues to find himself out of the team with the change of balance to the Sunrisers. So they go in with David Warner, the captain, and Shrivat Goswami, who always seems to come in for the playoffs, having not played much of the league stage. The wicketkeeper at the top of the order: Manish Pandey, Kane Williamson, Priyam Garg, Jason Holder, Abdul Samad, Rashid Khan, who has performed a starring role in both games between these two in the league stage this year, Shahbaz Nadeem, Sandeep Sharma, and perhaps the find of the season, Natarajan. I hand over for discussion of all of the above and commentary to some people who have found venues that are much more salubrious than slightly dodgy garden centres in unremarkable places in states you've just lost. And we called up our candidates, and they actually turned up. Andy Ward, Nestle Boy, and Monty Panesar.
Hello.
Hello everyone. Yeah, it should be an interesting game. You'd think the Sunrisers were in a happier place at the moment, Monty?
Yes, thank you for that kind introduction, Nicole. I'm not sure about which garden centre he was talking about, but this place here at Abu Dhabi right now, is the place to be, I think. And this is a big match. What surprises me is British Shaw is being dropped. Every time he's played, he's part of that winning 11. This is a big match. Why would you want to change your winning 11? This is something that I'm not sure about this, Andy. What do you think? Why do you think they've dropped Prithvi Shaw?
Well, I would probably have two things to say about that. First of all, they haven't particularly been winning the last few games. They did lose the previous qualifier. I think they won the last one against RCB, but they'd lost a couple before then. What it seems to me is maybe they've never quite got this balance right at the top. Maybe with Shaw and Rahane and Pant hasn't really been firing. They just feel that's not enough firepower in the top four. So they bump everyone up one and bring Hetmeyer in at 5. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, look, I think that's pretty sound description. It's a big match, and you're probably thinking he's not in good form. I'm just slightly concerned. Every time he plays, he's been part of that winning team, and sometimes I'm just one of them sort of, if I was a coach, I just wouldn't change a team. Just that's the way I kind of think. But maybe Ricky Ponting has different ways of going about it.
Change your winning side, eh?
That was the guy I was looking for, Sean.
Interesting point made by Dandy Castro is that this is going to be the 6th Sunrisers must-win match in a row.
Yeah, often that gets you in that mindset. I mean, I was just reading both coaches, Ricky Ponting and Trevor Bayliss, and they were both giving it a lot of just another game, we don't really change our approach. But that's not really how it works in your head, is it, Monty?
Absolutely not, And I think but one of the things that the coaches have to do is try and get the players to perform at their best. And sometimes on the day, you've got to think, guys, this is just another game. Trevor Bayliss is that sort of character, very laid back, very sort of, a hands-off type of coach. And I think it kind of works for them, taking the importance out of the game, making it just another day, another Saturday, another club match.
Yeah.
And that relaxed approach is vital for Sunrisers Hyderabad. They can't think of this being a real important must-win match, even though it is, but not make it feel so important, because when it gets to that crucial period, I think they'll be desperate for it, and that's where Delhi Capitals could capitalise.
Sure. If we talk about the Sunrisers, I remember a couple of weeks ago on Super Over Sunday, I think it was, we just overlapped, and you were saying you thought they should bring Jason Holder into the side, and that's what they've done, and it does seem to have improved their balance.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like, especially in the IPL 2020, any 2020 game, it's a 6th, 7th. That position is such a crucial position. It's a match-winning position. Batsmen tend to come in the last 5 overs. You may have to bowl a few overs, crucial overs maybe, and that player has to be on form. And Jason Holder has performed really well. You look at the other side where Punjab Kings 11, Glenn Maxwell, similar position. didn't really fire this season.
No.
So that's why I think they've really propelled in the last 4 or 5 games since Jason Holder's been included into the squad. They've able to, he's able to perform both with the bat and the ball.
Yeah, a bit harsh on Johnny Bairstow, but something had to give there with the 4 overseas players, and Jason Holder, of course, played a very important role with the bat in the last game, which I found quite a strange game between the previous qualifier between RCB and the Sunrisers. You were talking about changes, Monty. Did you find it strange that RCB made 4 changes for that game?
Yeah, look, RCB have throughout the competition have never known their best 11, and they always heavily rely on Virat Kohli, AB de Villiers to perform. If both of them score runs, RCB, they'll win. They kind of like thrive off, Virat Kohli's intensity and energy. And if he doesn't perform well, it's suddenly they're like clutching on straws. They're thinking, who's going to win us the game? And that's what happened in the last game. Both of them didn't really fire, and 132 is just never enough. To win an important match.
I mean, I've only seen Kohli. I mean, what's Kohli's stats in this tournament? Has he had a good tournament?
He's been quite strange. If you break his stats down a bit more, he's got a very low boundary percentage, but a very high what they call non-boundary strike rate, which means he hasn't faced many dot balls, but he also hasn't hit many boundaries. So he's more playing an accumulating role than a really destructive role, and I think it was a little bit of a waste of his talents to play like that. Nonetheless, RCB are not here for whatever reason, and the Sunrisers are taking the field led by David Warner with the fireworks and sparklers either side of them. Yes, thank you. We are still working with the Sussex Cricket Foundation with our In the Bag fundraiser to raise £3,500 deliver food bags to 1,000 hungry families all around the south coast. You'll find a link for that in our pinned tweet on Guerrilla Cricket, and it's certainly a worthy cause. Do we have anyone joined us on social media yet, Nestlers?
We do. Messages. Leia's got a Knight Rider. I don't know if that's a game or a jigsaw. She sent a picture in of. Muttley Wolf hasn't made his mind up who he's supporting today. General rule of thumb is a team with the least amount of Australian players. David Warner is less likeable than Marcus Stoinis. They're probably backing DC.
Well, speaking of, we've got a big surprise in the batting order here. Can you jingle us up?
All the side ones is a Marcus Stoinis. He's the solution, and all the side ones is a Marcus Stoinis. Yeah.
Well, what do you make of this, Monty?
Yeah, like this is another, Ricky Ponting's been experimenting throughout when they just, halfway through the drop, when they dropped Prithvi Shaw and they've experimented. This is another experiment. It's a Ricky Ponting experiment. He's obviously a big fan of Marcus Stoinis. He wants him up the order. He actually wants him to bat at 3, which he does really well in the BBL. He opens up the batting. He's the best position for him. But these pitches I don't know if they really suit his style. So it's an experiment. Well, if it pays off, then we'll be all applauding Ricky Ponting. But I think it's a high risk one. We'll find out very soon.
We will. As Knackle points out from the green room, I was going to say he's scored a lot of runs in the BBL at the top of the order. It's strange to do this, very strange to do it for the first time in 16 games in this IPL. So
either going to be a work of genius or a complete and utter disaster.
Those are the two options, or something in between. Well, Sandeep Sharma is certainly a potent opening bowler, swings the ball a lot. I expect him to take the first over.
Who's coming up to bowl? When in the auction fairly cheap, got a pretty good default. Yes, you was indeed, Sharma.
One thing I saw in the previews of this game is that Sunrisers won both games against Delhi in the league stage, and in both games they made very early inroads in the Delhi batting, and Sharma is certainly a bowler who can take wickets off the top. Swings the ball a little bit. You're not quite sure which way. He's going to come into Stoinis. And that swings in a little bit, and it's punched up to mid-off. They've also got a very, very short mid-on.
Yeah, this is an interesting fielding setup. You know, Sandeep is that sort of bowler which isn't too quick, and you know, Stoinis probably thinking, let me line him up and start hitting him. But there's that mind right in his eye line, isn't he? A silly mid-on, and if he gets it slightly wrong, you know, it could be one of them. Kane Williamson.
Yeah, crouched like a tiger there. Or another in-swinger. Stoinis plays it into the leg side, mid-wicket picks it up, and there would be no run.
Jersey Oaks joined us. He's saying Stoinis confirms Stoinis bats at the top of the BBL, but he'll be out for 3. Farong says, even Northern Dakar, penultimate game after 2,364 pay-TM reviews. How many more in store for tonight? He wonders where I am today, Antarctica. I don't know why I am. It's bloody freezing.
Safest place. Yeah, we think they do have a long on kind of behind that mid-on, according to the graphic. Also got a deep square. Everyone else is up pretty close. Here comes Sandeep again. Right arm over, and again it's an in-swinger, and that one's played to mid-wicket's left hand, so they will pick up a single. A bit of a misfield.
Reggie Jez is not convinced about Stoinis as an opener. Could be a short visit. Maybe
Yeah,
he
a bit
doesn't
of
watch the
scepticism
BBL.
on the internet there, but you know, opening in India is not going to be the same as opening on those hard pitches in Australia.
Yeah.
One without loss. Any thoughts on why Delhi decided to bat first? I was a bit surprised.
Well, I think the Delhi's definitely know that they can win the game in the last, you know, quarter of the second innings with their fast bowlers, so they back that.
Yep.
And therefore Stoinis at the top of the order. Hopefully they're looking for a quick start.
Yeah, it's their fifth bowler that's been largely a problem for Delhi this year, or fifth and sixth, counting Stoinis as the sixth. They decided to leave that until later. A little bit of a delay, but Sandeep comes in now. He's got a slip to Dhawan, and that one does move away. The keeper's standing up to Dhawan. Maybe thinks he's going to go down the track. That's no run. He's got a couple of hundreds in this IPL, Dhawan. He's also got 2 or 3 noughts.
Yes, and you know, Delhi will be looking to at least, you know, get a good start. They can't afford to lose early wickets, especially this pitch. So it appears to be quite a slow wicket, you know, with the keeper up. Possibly that's the reason why they got Stoinis up the order, so he can face the new ball as much as possible.
And I think generally all these fielders are quite close, and Sandeep bowling them all the same way so far, into the right hander away from the left. That one has just dropped down into the offside, and they take a quick single. Nakul tells us that Delhi's reasoning for batting first is that this is a good pitch, and that the Sunrisers won both league games against Delhi, batting first. And the Sunrisers, quote, looked vulnerable chasing in the eliminator. Yeah, I'm still not sure what to make of that chase. Whether it was perfectly timed by Williamson or whether he was sailing a bit close to the edge.
Look, this game, to be honest, is if Rashid Khan gets whacked around, I think game over. Delhi Capital win this.
Interesting. Sandeep is in, and it's another in-swinger, and Stoinis pumps it straight down the wicket. It's going to go up to long on. It's going to get another single. That'll be the end of the over. 3 for no wickets. Have we got anyone on Crick Tracker and the like?
I've got on Crick Tracker India, I've got Ayush Yadav, who says he'd rather start early. I don't know, did we have an early start? I don't think we did, but glad you're with us. Let's have a look on Twitter. We'll see. Mel Shoppiness. Greetings, gentlemen from Bombay, he says.
Right.
Andy Redfern has tweeted us. He's talking to Roy Boy Pom about... Jersey Oak said, I'm suffering from CNN election coverage overdose. Waiting for the Mango Mussolini to either concede or have a massive meltdown. My money is on the latter.
Has anyone had an overdose of Guerrilla Cricket yet?
Well, it's happened before. It probably happened to some people during the World Cup, I think.
Yeah, it happened to me, and look at me now, I'm on it. I made the mistake of meeting them for a drink, and the next thing I know, I'm doing this.
Here you are. Yep, chained to the desk.
Yeah. Oh,
Right.
Knuckles got a jingle.
Yep. Second baller.
Jason Holder. Jason
Coming down from a height, it's going to be Jason Holder. That one is on the pads of Stoinis. He clips it out to deep square, get at least one. Should just be the one. Rashid Khan comes into the field. Certainly a nice balance with the opening bowlers. You've got one pitching it up and swinging it, and one coming down from a height back of a length.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Andy. You know, and it makes it very difficult for batsmen to line up. You know, one where you kind of think the pitch is skidding on. The other time with a tall bowler, probably bounce a bit higher. You know, it's difficult to then to really line up the boundary option. Here, I think Delhi's just got to play sensible cricket. You know, not play anything too risky.
Yep. Kagiso Rabada pulling some faces on the bench. Not going to have to do his work for a little while, he hopes.
I think that man is crucial today.
David Warner.
Not just from batting point of view, just his all-round
Presence.
and his cricket brain.
Yep.
I think he's crucial.
Holder into the left-handed Dhawan, flashed past point, might get the first boundary. Rashid Khan is across, good bit of fielding, good throw from kneeling down as well, and they'll pick up two.
Ooh.
Gosh, they don't want Rashid Khan to injure himself in the field.
Absolutely not. You know, he's looking athletic than before. I think he's really quick off the field. I've never seen him being this quick, and that was a lovely piece of fielding there.
Well, you often see him in the deep. He's got a good arm, and he's quite mobile.
He just slipped his right foot, didn't he?
Yeah, just slipped out from under him. I think Holder is in, and Dhawan comes down the track and cuts that one over point. That one will be the first boundary.
Yeah, that's a fine shot.
It's Nissan Shi. It's Nissan Shi.
And perhaps that's an indication of why Goswami is standing up to Dhawan at the other end, because that time he just took a pace down the wicket to attack Jason Holder.
Yeah, smart thinking, initiative, thinking on their feet, knowing that there's not much pace in the wicket, so then they put pace on it by coming at the ball.
That momentum coming into the ball. Holder not having any more of that. Jabs one into the ribs of Dhawan, and he can only drop it down in front of him. 10 for no wicket after 10 balls. And you would think, looking at the Sunrisers lineup, they're going to do what they did against Bangalore, which is probably just bowl 5 bowlers, 4 overs each. They've got Williamson, they've got Samad, but those are really part-time options. And they're one of these teams who just tend to trust their front-line bowlers, even if one of them's getting a bit of stick. Holder's in again, that's a full ball and a little bit of in-swing. Dhawan plays it back to him. Holder has a little shy at the stumps just to keep him on his toes. There's no run.
Yeah, can you see the bounce? He came down the wicket, he got the momentum, then he just thought, right, I'll stay in the wicket now. And that same ball is hitting sort of chest height. So this is the inclusion. This is what we talked earlier. Why Jason Holder is in the team is because of his bowling, and his batting's been brilliant. Last 7 games he's been a striker of 142.
That one's slightly on the hip of Dhawan, and he plays it round to square leg. There should just be the one. Natarajan with the fielding. It is, that's the end of the over. It's 11 for no wickets. Nestle, now you're in front of the 4 seasons total landscape.
Sally R56 asked me to change it. So there you go. There it is.
Careful you're not in front of the shop next to it. It's a family-friendly show.
Yes, an epic moment in politics, I think.
Life, goodness me. Anyway, Warner is now talking to Sandeep, moving things around, while Ponting is in the ear of the next batsman, Rahane. I wonder if that really helps. Still, evidently they think it does.
Go away, I know what I'm doing. I've done it before, yeah.
Who are you talking to? Is it your cat again? The neighbour's cat?
Oh no, I was impersonating the guys on the bench.
Oh,
there.
yes, the captain. Yes, sorry. Darwin again, and again the keeper is up with that one. Darwin plays past point. And he'll pick up a single.
No, the neighbour's cat is currently on top of the cooker, and there's a setting on it called "Keep Warm." And I've discovered
That's not what
that
it means.
it does, to as far as she's concerned. So she's on the "Keep Warm" setting, and she just loves it. About 50 degrees, and yeah, it's a thing now. I've made a rod for my own back with this cat, I tell you.
Yeah, it's going to be your cat if you're not careful.
Yeah, it sort of is, but. I don't know. There's 4 different cats in the garden the other day.
Goodness me, they're all having
Around.
a little festival out there.
I know.
Short mid-ons back in for Stoinis. Again, it's the in-swinger, just chopped back towards the bowler. There's no run. That seems to be a deliberate ploy for Stoinis. I can't see him in there against Darwin.
Yeah, it's actually reminded me of when Jasprit Bumrah bowled him, and he done him for pace, and it's that
all
coming
ends up.
in. Yeah, it's his weakness seems to be the ball that just comes into him, and smart sort of thinking by David Warner by having Kane Williamson there and really in his eye line in front of him. He sometimes makes it difficult to hit that ball when if I get it slightly wrong I could get out. It creates a bit of hesitation.
Yeah, it just makes you a little bit tentative. Sandy is pulled away, but it's not his fault. It's Stoinis. He was pointing at something. Shouldn't really be a fan behind the bowler's arm, but you never can tell. There are a few people in there.
The
How do you
owner's
think
friend.
how do you think this affects players, Monty, having no fans in the ground?
Oh, I think they get used to it by now. If they haven't got
Yeah.
used to it by now, there's something wrong
True.
with them.
Yeah,
Eventually, it's you find a way.
Come second nature, they'll be put off, and the fans are back, and oh goodness me, that was the chance right there. It was pitched up, it swung in. Stoinis clipped it up to short mid-on. It was exactly what we were talking about. Jason Holder had replaced Kane Williamson for some reason, and while he had longer arms, he couldn't quite hold on to that one.
Yes, that is exactly what we were talking about. You can see the.
Do you know, in commentator speak, I think he'll be a bit disappointed with that.
Well, should have got 2 hands to it.
Yeah. He's coming even closer now, if anything, and Stoinis has flicked that over square leg past the deep fielder for a 1 bounce 4.
1 2 ka 4 4 2 ka 1. My name is Lakhan. My name is Lakhan.
Sandeep's doing the head shake. There ain't no justice. You must have done that a few times, Monty.
Yeah, it's only a half a yard. You bowl the ball slightly fuller, and that just is the result is quite
Punishing
Yeah,
at this level.
yeah.
Yes.
16
for no wicket. Sandeep's just got to come back and try again. It's all in swingers to the right-hander. That one's clipped down towards long leg. Square leg's got some work to do, and he's not in the picture. It's another 4. So
Yep.
you can see the plus and the minus side of the plan in those 3 balls.
Yes, you saw the plus 2 balls ago, and now he's just trying to bowl it too straight. He's like trying to correct himself, and I think what he needs to do is start it outside off stump. Then he brings Jason Holder into play. When he bowls it straighter, he can do whatever he wants. Stoinis, he can play it square, he can play it fine, and the last 2 balls were a perfect example of easy pickings for Stoinis.
Yep, Sandeep's in again. It's a slower ball. Stoinis just waits for it, tips it down to backward square. End of the over, 10 off the over. Delhi is starting to get going. They are 21 for no wicket.
Messi Jess has sent a picture in of my lounge room in a couple of years with about 50 cats in it.
Yep.
We've just told Warren about Hot Mic not working quite at the moment, but I'm sure the people are looking at that. And that's it for the time being.
Okay.
Right, they're all getting ready for the end, I think.
The end of everything. We've got a word from the ground that Axar Patel is padded up, so maybe they're thinking about doing something even more radical. Putting a pinch hitter up there.
With all these theories, these flying around, if there's one thing that Ricky Ponting wants to do, if he wants to completely mess up his batting order, well, he's got a great opportunity. Acts up to the top of the order, give me a break.
Yeah, it would be a strange one. See what Holder is going to do about it. Running up right from the edge of the circle. And it's pulled by Stoinis, and there was a flying effort at mid-wicket, but he didn't get there because he hit it very hard, and that's another boundary.
The number of the day. Who could ask for more? The number of the day is 4.
Fairly orthodox pull shot, a little bit wide of off stump. Stoinis just got into line, pulled it round. A big dive, I think, from Williamson. May have even got a finger on it, but barely a half chance, that one.
That would have been a catch.
Yep, this is fine. I think that drop catch has really got Stoinis going.
Possibly so. Let's see what he does with this one. Oh, that's a good ball from Holder. That's the first time we've seen an outswinger from either bowler. I don't think Stoinis was expecting it. Just jabbed forward and beat the outside edge. I was going to say I thought Sharma took an outswinger, but Holder's beaten him to it.
Yes, he has, and I think he's definitely got the medium-sized shirt on today because their muscles are pumped up today.
Bulging, yeah.
Stoinis, yes, they're looking huge. And that delivery of Holder was perfect, Swinging it in, just nipping it away is the perfect ball to Stoinis. It's the way to get him out because anything that's giving him any room, swinging away, he loves it. Anything coming in, that's where he struggles.
Yeah, yep. Here comes Holder again, emboldened by that one, and Stoinis again steps away a little bit and plays a weird sort of pull past mid-on, but who am I to say? It's another 4. It's a shot Owen Morgan plays sometimes. He's very early on the pull shot.
It's a complete slog, Andy. He's down the wicket, he miscued it, he's done for pace, and he just got his muscles to hit it straight.
Excellent. I wasn't going to say that, so I'm glad you did.
I was just thinking though, Andy, this is your kind of T20 innings though, isn't it?
I'm liking it so far, yeah.
Yeah, just go for it.
Stoinis on 20 off 13. Holder's in again. Full of ball, tips it out to mid-wicket. What's he doing with his glove? He's taking his helmet off. He's eating something. Are you eating in class, Stoinis? And that's the end of that ball. Sorry, I'm rambling. 29 for no wicket in the 4th over. And as Knackle points out, Delhi have lost their first wicket within 2 overs 9 times in their last 10 games. So, to some degree, Ricky Ponting's changes have worked so far. If you want to be short term. Holder's in again. Pumped away by Stoinis over long on. That's a lovely shot. 15 yards past the rope.
Let's talk about 6. Let's talk about 6. Let's talk about 6. Let's talk about 6.
Stoinis experiment is working at the moment.
Why wasn't he batting opening the whole tournament? Little bit of a slower ball from...
No, let's not go there. Come on, Andy. It's just a one-off experiment. It's
I know.
paying off, and I think he's done more than I think he's done brilliant. This is what he wanted. A bit of an impetus, and any bones. These are all bonus runs now from now on.
If you'd been on with me a little bit more, Monty, that was just my little joke. That one is flashed away past third man. It's going to be another 4. Goodness me, 18 off the over. Punishment for Jason Holder. .39 for no wicket. They're off and running now.
Yeah, 2 big boundaries, and this is exactly what Ricky Ponting wanted. He wanted a flying start from Stoinis, and he's provided that. Now, this game's a very fickle game. If Delhi Capitals win this, everyone will be thinking what a great experiment it was. But in my opinion, it was a high-risk experiment. They could have got, if Jason Holder hold on to that catch, completely different ball game. Like Nicole said, in the first 2 overs they lose that wicket. That was that moment in that first 2 overs when they lose that wicket. He's dropped that catch, and the